Hello and welcome to Outside the Book, coming to you from the Southern Kentucky Festival of Books here at the Sloan Convention Center in Bowling Green. A chance to meet some of the many great authors participating here. I'm Peter Bryant and I'm happy to welcome Deborah LeBlanc. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming by.
It's my pleasure.
You know, I want to ask you right off the bat, I read a really interesting story about you from way back when, from when you first started writing. Second grade, you wrote a little short story,
Yes.
and a teacher took it from you, which might have been discouraging, but then it turned around. Tell us about that.
Well, she actually took the story. I was afraid I was going to get punished for not doing math, which we were supposed to be doing at that time. But she pulled me aside after class and she said that I had a lot of talent, that I was a storyteller. It really encouraged me to keep writing. That little bitty blurb really made a difference in my life.
What was the story? Do you remember?
Yes, it was about a mermaid that grew legs. And look, when the Little Mermaid came out with Disney, I thought, I never did get that story back from the teacher.
You
she
did
could
it
be
first.
a gazillionaire right now for all I know. And I'm schlepping books.
So what happened next? I mean, did you feel right from that point that this is what you were destined to do?
No, actually, I think storytelling was just part of my culture. I'm Cajun by birth, and my grandmother was one of the most fascinating storytellers on the planet. But she told them, she didn't write, she was illiterate, but she could look at you and tell you a story that brought you to that place. I only saw storytelling as a part of my life.
What kind of stories did she tell you?
There were actually ghost stories, but to my grandmother, they were not made up tales. They were things that happened to relatives of hers. And that's what started me down the path of the supernatural.
Right, because now you're doing much the same thing.
Yes, I am.
Are you conscious of drawing upon those stories you heard as a kid?
I don't really draw on them so much as I keep my mind open to what possibilities might exist. She actually believed if Uncle so-and-so said it happened, it happened. You didn't question it. So I've been out there searching now for years. I do the paranormal investigations as a hobby, and I've been doing it for years, trying to find out the truth.
And how do you do that? When you do an investigation, what are you looking for? And how do you do it?
Evidence. I'm looking for evidence. I'm looking for a full-bodied apparition, things to move on their own. You're looking for just anomalies, paranormal anomalies. Whenever you're going into a house that's purportedly haunted, I want evidence. But I'm a doubting Thomas. In the same manner that I want to see it, if I do see something odd, then you have to prove to me that it is a supernatural event, because I always try to tie a scientific cause to it.
Have you found something that really stands out? Was there an especially memorable event that you felt was really good evidence?
Oh yeah, I got shoved down a flight of stairs.
Where was that?
It was in Louisiana, a small town in South Louisiana, and it was an area where the old woman who owned the house told me, and my investigation team at the time, it's not a good idea for you to go upstairs right now because they're not there, her ghost. We're not ready for you. Let them get used to you being in the house. And while they were off into the kitchen, she and my team, I wanted to take a peek up, into this big hole that was her attic. And I just went up about 2 or 3 flights of steps and I was shoved back, off, and not tapped, or where you could guess something just brushed against you. I was shoved off the stairs.
Did you go back up after that?
I did, actually, when she said it was okay. I didn't tell her I attempted to go up, but when she saw me in the kitchen, she had this smirk on her face like, you tried it when I told you not to.
So how do you translate this kind of thing into your books? When you write, what do you draw upon to make this into something that you write?
The anticipation of the unknown, that heart-pounding thing, the heaviness you feel, the thing that pulls on your insides whenever there is a paranormal activity. What I feel is like my insides have turned into metal shavings, and beneath the ground is a huge magnet, and it feels like it's drawing me down. I'll try to describe that to the reader. And then, of course, that heart-pounding, what is up there? It's always the unknown that frightens us a lot more than, say, man-eating worms. You know,
Yeah.
I'll just blow those suckers up. That's pretty easy for me.
Well, do you ever feel that when you're writing? Do you ever get yourself worked up to the point that your heart starts pounding as you're putting a story together?
You know, that's my problem. I work with funeral homes around the country. I'm in a lot of autopsy suites. I do crime scene investigations. So, and I ghost hunt as a hobby. So it's like, what does scare you? It really takes a lot to get my heart pounding. I can't say that I really get scared, but I get hyped up because I know I'm hitting on something that is exciting. It is the unknown, and it's got an unusual twist to it. That's what I'm aiming for.
Well, keep up the good work. It sounds fascinating. It's been really interesting talking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.